right. Hi, everybody. My name is Ian Vair, and you are watching The Green Mountain Chef. Today, we have a lovely episode in store for you. So, those of you who have not watched my show before, my MO is sort of to get out into the woods and go play with some cool mushrooms and go to the farmer's market and buy some nice produce and talk to my friends and neighbors and family around town. That's essentially what happened this week. I was out and I discovered some lovely mushrooms that I'm going to talk about. We were at the farmer's market, and unfortunately I was unable to source a lot of the ingredients that I had intended on. I do have epilepsy, and unfortunately we had an event this past Saturday, so rather than not come on the show, I figured I'd just say, hey guys, this is what happened and that's part of the deal. So this particular show is from my local grocer. That said, thank you to my local grocer. Also, please continue to come down to the farmer's market and support us, because this is local, community, healthy, and it's a lot of fun. I'm a fun guy. I mean, come on. All right, so that said, let's talk about this wild mushroom shrimp scampi. And I was thinking about what to make, and I said, you know what, as a restaurant chef, I used to make these great pasta dishes all the time, and I felt like making a nice pasta dish. So that's what I'm going to do today. Yesterday, I was out into the woods, and I must have found a dozen different choice edible mushrooms. And it's not a good idea to promote eating many different wild mushrooms at the same time. It's a good idea to eat one or two, potentially. So that's what I did today. I brought in a couple, and the first one I want to talk about, which I didn't get enough of to complete the dish, is a black trumpet. And it's a wonderful mushroom. It's a choice edible. This year they came out through July, and they've persisted into August. And there are no lookalikes to these mushrooms, and this is a great beginner's mushroom. And when I'm teaching foraging workshops, these are the types of organisms that I teach. So that said, I'm going to put these aside, and the ones that I'm using for our dish today, they're really cool. They are called a sweet tooth or a hedgehog mushroom. And their gill structure is a bit different than your normal mushroom. Rather than having gills, it actually has teeth that protrude from the bottom. Not exactly a beginner's mushroom, but not the hardest of mushrooms to identify. So this mushroom connoisseur was delighted to find these. So we're going to use a few of these today, and let's pick out a couple nice choice ones here. I like the ones that are a little more young. There are bugs in the woods, folks, so that's kind of my reservation there with getting them too old. Okay, so these I pulled out of the ground, and I'm just going to give them a little bit of a trim here. There's a little dirt on them. I'm taking a look to see if any bugs are hanging out in the mushrooms, and they look great. All right, getting there, close. Again, these are the sweet tooth or hedgehog mushroom. Scientifically, they're called Hydnum repundum. I believe that's what it's called, Hydnum repundum, scientifically, but who cares about that stuff? Sweet tooth, let's call it the sweet tooth mushroom. Okay, so these are from yesterday. They've held up excellent in my refrigerator at home. And all I'm going to do is give them a quick saute. Now, with wild mushrooms, 99% of them, it's 99.9% of them, it's a great idea to cook them. Okay, the deal with wild mushrooms, I love them. Many people do. The texture of them is quite nice. Many of them do have toxins. So when you cook them, that removes the toxins. Now, that doesn't mean that every mushroom that's out there is edible. Okay? Wild mushrooms are a big deal, folks. They're delicious, they're nutritious, but they can get you sick if you're not careful. All right, so I just kind of quartered these. All right. Saute is our cooking method today. The definition of saute is high heat, a little fat. Okay, so we're in a nice big saute pan here. And I'm cooking these mushrooms first, just to get them out of the way, just to ensure that they're fully cooked. Okay? Our pan looks like it's nice and hot at this point. And that's going to cook for a few minutes. All right? So while that's cooking, I'm going to check on my pasta water over here. So I'm cooking the linguine pasta. We're going to saute up some shrimp with asparagus and tomatoes. It's going to be like a lemon cream and butter sauce that's going in with it. All right. The linguine is all ready to go. I'm cooking off about 8 ounces. I have some salted boiling water. This is going to go in for 10 minutes. Right. I like to split my pasta in half, get that down into the water. And I am going to set a timer right here on the air for 10 minutes. Couldn't be easier. All right? Now, the shrimp I elected to work with right on the air. And they're not hard, folks. Okay? The thing with these shrimp, they're already deveined. They literally pull right out of the shells. Okay? Pasta's in the water, the timer is on. I'm just going to move the pasta around a little bit so it doesn't all stick to itself. I have another simmering almost to a boil pot over here that I'm going to be cooking my asparagus in. All right? I'm going to cook that to al dente before I add that into my pasta, just to make things a little bit easier. I like to do that. I like to get all of my what the French call mise en place, all of my ingredients in place, and then dive in. And if I'm making a pasta dish, I can get everything ready and just go. So that's what we're doing right here. This is something you can make at home in about 20 to 30 minutes, tops. And we're doing it on the air in probably 25 minutes. So, wild mushroom shrimp scampi. Remember, folks, the farmer's market is my mainstay, and that is where you're going to find people like myself and a lot of other community members right here in Rutland, Vermont. We're at PEG TV today in Rutland, and this is a great little station because they offer chefs and cooks and people like myself the opportunity to come right on the air and use ingredients and products sourced locally. Don't forget your pasta. Give that a stir every few minutes. Okay, about a half a pound of shrimp is what we've yielded here. All right. We have some nice color in the mushrooms here. They're just going to go to the side. Just a hint more oil. Nice hot pan. In with the shrimp. So mushrooms like this that we're using today, the sweet tooth mushroom, they grow from about, I've been seeing them come out over the past few weeks, the beginning of August into September. That's about when you're going to find them. So by the time this show airs, this is something that some of you might be able to find almost right in your backyard. That said, any mushrooms that you decide to use will go great in this dish. There's also a really, really nice mushroom farmer, and the name of their business is Champlain Valley Mushrooms, and they are at a few different farmers markets. They do participate in the Saturday Rutland, Vermont Farmers Market 9 to 2. Some great organisms to buy and take home and eat. So things like that are what you can go to the market and bring right into your own home to make a lovely dish just like this. All right, I'm going to work with an onion. My shrimp are close. When working with the onion, I cut the top side, all right, off, leave the root side intact, and then I cut it in two. From there, and I've done this several times on the show, I peel the skin off. All right, so this is what we're working with. I'm going to cut right down the middle, keeping my fingers on the top, and then I'm going to go down the sides. All right, one more time. And this is going to go right into my pan. Have a little garlic. And I've worked with garlic before on the show, and I like to, I used to teach culinary school, so I go through this process, this method every single time, because they're good methods. Okay, so the garlic I'm just lightly pushing down on once I've removed the clove from the bulb there. Literally sort of smushing the garlic, pressing down on it, and then the peel just twists right off of it. Not too difficult. Takes practice, but you get better with it. So I've used about a half of an onion, a small to medium yellow onion. I only have 4 cloves of garlic. Okay? Not a heck of a lot. All right. And these guys, just going to slice. Very good, right into the pan. My pan's looking slightly dry. I'm just going to add a little more avocado oil, just a bit. My heat's going to go down a skosh. All right. My asparagus, I'm going to slice. I've already cut the lower end off. That's a little more fibrous. This is going to go right into my boiling water here. Okay, we're looking good. Shrimp are finished. Garlic doesn't take long, 30 seconds to a minute. Onions are nice and almost starting to caramelize, almost. I'm going to add some wine in. It's like about a half a cup. I have a lemon. And with this lemon, I like to go into a bowl, just in case any seeds come out with this. All right, that looks good. Okay. All right, so we have the shrimp and the onions and the garlic, some Chardonnay, nearly a full lemon, and a little secret that'll help at home is a skosh, maybe a tablespoon of some heavy cream, and that's going to pull it together, folks. All right? Because we're going to build this with butter. All right, that's looking good. Okay, tomatoes. I just brought some fun cherry tomatoes today. I just like the look of them. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I have some fresh basil, and I don't want the stems. I just want the basil leaf. That's my 10 minutes. So our pasta is finished. Looks great. Here we go. Right into the sink in the colander. Okay. I just went with a traditional linguine in this round. I have some friends who like this thin linguine. Some, maybe you like angel hair. That works really, really well. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in it so it doesn't all stick on me. Leave that for a moment. Beautiful. Straining the asparagus out of my boiling water. Let's add that right into the pasta. Back to the basil. Remember, basil leaf. I'm going to go ahead and throw my mushrooms in. I like to sort of rough chop the basil, folks. I like a lot of green in this pasta. It's beautiful. Tomatoes, basil, mushrooms, asparagus. It's delish. Now, I haven't really seasoned this yet, all right? I'm going to give this a little bit of Chesapeake Bay spice. I went to culinary school at the Chesapeake Bay, so every once in a while I like to throw that in there. So I have some Old Bay spice. I'm just going to add just a little bit there. A little bit of black pepper. I'm using unsalted butter today, so I'm going to add a little extra butter, I'm going to add a little bit of extra salt. Kosher salt is what I like to use. Unsalted butter is what we're using today. Okay, I feel like I need a skosh more wine. Just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add in a couple pieces of butter. I don't add too much butter in the beginning. To create the emulsification, we got to go slow. So 1 or 2 slices at the most to start. And make sure after that reduction with the wine and the lemon that you have some liquid left over, because you need that for the butter to emulsify into and to create a sauce. All right. This, I'm making a dish for my girlfriend and I tonight, we'll say. This is probably a dish for 2. So very, very easy to double this dish, or to multiply this dish for, I don't know, maybe up to 8 people. Okay? So, we'll give this a taste. It's good. We are close. How are we doing on time, guys? Doesn't look too bad. All right, I think we're 20 minutes in. Okay, so just a few minutes. We're going to be wrapping it up. 5 more minutes, guys. If you're just tuning in, Chef Ian Vair, and I am a member and patron at the local Vermont and Rutland Farmers Market. I come here to the PEG TV studio in Rutland, Vermont every month, and I enjoy bringing as many locally sourced products as possible. Today's show was focused more on some of the wild mushrooms and some things that I needed to get elsewhere. But every show, we're looking for delicious food, local food, healthy. This looks good. Just the slightest bit more butter. I only put in about 2 ounces, believe it or not, of butter. Okay. Pasta. This looks great. Sauce tastes lovely, nice and colorful. I'm adding in my linguine. I was excited waking up today knowing I was going to make this dish because it's lovely. So we're looking pretty good here, folks. You could serve this on a plate. You could serve it into a bowl. You could serve, small portions of it. You could serve large portions of it. You could use a lot of different vegetables. You don't have to use shrimp. You don't have to use mushrooms. You don't have to use wild mushrooms. This is what I'm teaching today is that, this isn't difficult. All right, this is a standard French cooking method. Doesn't take too long. I had a good time and I was right on the air. Okay, no big deal. So why don't we try something like this? I'm going to have a recipe posted at the end. Okay, this is something that you can easily work on at home. To make it more saucy, we can use more wine. We can use more butter. Okay, not hard. This is delicious just as it is. So I think I'm pretty happy with it. Got at least a couple portions here. And what I'm going to do, I was able to score a few green onions. I'm going to take some green onions. And I'm just going to cut them on a bias. Some nice garnish here, some green onions. All right. Picked up a French baguette. You don't have to serve bread with this, but it could be nice. You could toast it. I did not toast this one. Just to give it a little bit of extra. And there you have it. Check it out, guys. That was not difficult. Chef Ian Vair. Here you're watching the Green Mountain Chef program. Right here in Rutland, Vermont, and PEG TV. I want to thank everyone from the local farmers market who always supports this show. And I'd like to thank all the members here and the employees at PEG TV. Thank you, everyone. And for everyone watching the show, please come try my wild mushroom shrimp scampi. It's lovely. If you'd like to talk to me about it at the farmers market, come down on a Saturday between 9 and 2. I'm always there. I'm right in the center of the action. Ian Vair, thank you for tuning in. PEG TV, Green Mountain Chef. Have a great day, guys.